Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Sunny here, and today we are covering Awakening Warrior. This is going to be a guide mainly focused on you getting out into the hardcore servers and picking up this class. It's gonna have a PvE section, so you can learn how to grind. It's gonna have a simple combo, infinite combo you can use on this server and also out in the open world, and we'll have a PvP section. It's gonna be a basic. This is how you do the basic stuff on this class, how to play it and everything. You can use this if you are trying to learn the class in general. That's why I will also have an add-on section, even though add-ons are not available on the hardcore server. Then hopefully this guide here will be able to teach you the ropes of Awakening Warrior, so you can get into it and have some fun. First things first, let's quickly look at the skills. You want to, in the Awakening kit, you want to lock knee kick. Knee kick is just garbage, useless, lock it, forget it exists. And Hilt strike is something you want to unlock for PvE, but for PvP you might want to lock it when you are first learning the class. And the reason for that is because it flows after balance strike, and it is unprotected with this one, right? So you might do this and then you get locked into the Hilt strike animation, and it's unprotected and you might die, right? But it also allows you to flow really well into Heaven's Cleave. So this one here, I feel like you can play around with if you want to. Now you want to lock Frenzied strike. Lock it for PvE and PvP and put it on your hotbars. Another ability you want to put on your hotbar is Overwhelm. And the reason for that, it flows off of some abilities like Solar Flare and Forward Headchase, but you want to use it very often off of other things as well. So if you hotkey it, I have it here on 5, you can sidestep and you can use it. And it flows insanely well. It's not clunky at all to use as a hotkey, so make sure you hotkey Overwhelm. And for the core for PvE, you want to use Frenzied strike always. It gives you a front guard, super nice. Use that for PvE. And for PvP, you want to use the Gravedigger add-on. In my opinion, that's the one I use. It's really good. Getting that additional KD protected is great. However, you can also use a balance strike, giving super arm on that one. It's fine to have. But this one here, you're gonna get some random catches out there, especially when you're fighting other players that are more new, and you will just randomly CC people while using your protections and stay protected. So I would still recommend going with the Gravedigger core for PvP. So let's take a look at the main hand kit now. There's quite a few things you want to lock in here. So I'm just gonna tell you which one to lock, and that's about it. I'm not gonna go into depth on this. Lock Charging Slash, Ground Roar. You should lock as well, because right now, this is before the patch, it will lose the 10 melee DR. There is no real reason to use it other than trying to catch ninjas out of stealth in PvP, which is super rare, and it can interfere with some inputs. So for now, lock this. Heavy strike, lock it. Sideways, I would just lock it as well. All these things, there's some fancy stuff you can do, don't bother with that. You're also gonna lock your ground slash, lock ultimate ground splash here for PvP and PvE on Awakening. Just lock it, not worth it. Deep slash as well, lock it. Now this one here you should probably learn. I personally play without it, but you should probably learn it and have it in your kit. It can be good to hotkey as well for catches if everything else is on cooldown and need a re-CC. So I think it's a good idea to play with this and hotbind. I personally play without it for some other reasons. You also want to lock your kick, lock shield strike, lock shield counter, and Hilt smash here, furious blow, lock him, shield push, lock it. And that is the ones you want to lock. You also want to hotkey Warcry. You will not be using this for the hardcore server. It gives a party buff of 20 DP, and it doesn't stack with your own DP buff. So you will not be using this outside of group content, but maybe you want to do some AOS or play the class right, then it's nice to have, so you do want to throw it in there just so you have it. Next up, let's take a quick look at Rabams, the skill enhancements. You want to go with the Frenzied Spear, and you want to hotbar this. This is the spear here. You throw it, and it runs up to the target. Next up is shield tide. You want to get this one here and hotkey it. It's a protected movement ability. It's very clunky, but the super armor works and gives you a bit of movement, and it allows you also to switch into your pre-awakened if you need that. Use this one, and down here you want to go with Dusk Slash. You're never going to use this for PvP, but for PvE you actually want to be using Seismic Strike and this one here. So you might want to go Seismic Strike for PvE with this one here, but you're probably not going to use it for now. It's a bit more later on, and you won't need it for the combo I'm about to show you today. Let's take a quick look at some basic PvE stuff. I'm gonna cover movement, then I'll show you an infinite combo, and lastly I'll show the add-ons that you can just throw on. They work really well with the combo I'm about to show you. And of course the add-ons don't work for hardcore server, but yeah, if you want to try them out. So for movement, the basic stuff is WF for charging thrust. It takes you into pre-awakening. From pre-awakening, you can also do shift+q. So it's charging thrust and then frenzied dash. And the way you get back into awakening is by dashing to the side. Just shift dash. It will take you into awakening. Also, quick note about movement. You don't have to, but you might as well lock evasion. So evasion doesn't work when you're awakening because, as you see here, if I try to side dash, it takes me into awakening anyway. But just in case, lock it. The other way you can go from pre-awakening to awakening is C-swapping. You just do a quick side dash and C-swap. Those are the only two ways you can get from pre-awakening to awakening. Your forward, WF, you can use from awakening, but shift+q you can't. So for movement, to switch over, what you want to do is WF, right? And then from there you can shift+q, and then W+rmb as well. Those are your pre-awakened movements, and what you want to do afterwards, if you want more movement, is you just forward dash and LMB for solar flare. So you forward dash LMB and it does solar flare, which is a long range movement, and that is a great like pack to pack movement. Another awakened movement is W+rmb, balance strike, and you can go dash WF for solar flare into W+rmb, so you get like even more distance. Another ability you can use for movement is Heaven's Cleave on your F. A general movement would be long distance. You go WF, WF. If you gotta go really far, and if it's just pack to pack, you are probably looking to just do dash solar flare. Now there's a bit of timing on W+lmb, solar flare here. If you just do W+lmb, it doesn't go very far. So you need to do like a forward dash into W+lmb, and I would recommend practicing the timing of this so it comes natural. And you can go way further. The combo I'm about to show you, it is an infinitely looping combo. It's really good with this new update we got for warrior damage numbers. So this here will do you really well. And of course, you can make variations of it depending on how fast you're killing mobs and packs, etc, etc. But this is, again, infinite looping. It's really nice, really comfort, and adjust it as you need to go. And then also adjust your add-ons once you get a bit more comfortable with it. So the combo is fairly straightforward. You go Solar Flare, W+lmb into Spacebar, Overwhelm, hold down Spacebar for Armorbreak. Then as soon as you Armorbreak, you go W+rmb and you hold that down. It's gonna do Balance Strike, Hilt Strike, Heaven's Cleave. And then in Heaven's Cleave, you go shift+rmb for Slashing of the Dead. And that is the core combo. Now, after that, you do one or two sections. I'll show it all, like put on screen and all that. I'll show it as well. And it's either going to be one tick angle break into Gravedigger into Frenzied Strike, and then you loop back to the Solar Flare part. The second, after that one again, you go, you finish on the Slashing of the Dead, then you go full charge Reckless Blow into Pulverize Tempest, and that's it. You should filter in Merciless whenever you need it for waiting on cooldowns. It gives you the 5% crit buff, but it's really bad DPS. You'll probably need it after the Reckless Blow part. But let me show you so you can see. And you can slow it down and everything and see it in the combo, right? So Merciless here just to filter in. And we loop back. And you just keep going like this. There you go. And that's pretty much it for the combo. You can use this to like any grind spot in the game, all in game as well. This works really, really well. Quick, let's take a look at the add-ons for PvE. There you go, right, here you are. These add-ons, I'm not gonna explain too much. Copy paste them, use them for PvE, and they will do really, really well. I guess a quick note would be the down attack. You might want to add down attack or human damage in there. You could do that instead of, say, accuracy if you don't need accuracy. Then you can add human damage if you're doing human damage grinding. If you're doing stuff like chunk break, you might want to get down attack in there. Personally, I really like the DP and movement speed. It adds like a nice boost of survivability, but you could mix those out as well as you see fit. Now for the PvP section, I'm gonna try and keep it simple as well. This is not a super in-depth. It's not to make you the greatest warrior player of all time. This is to teach you the rope, give you some basics, and then practice. So I'm gonna try and do it similar to PvE section, where you get with some movement. I'm gonna show you guys one simple but really good combo, and of course we're gonna cover some tips and tricks, some catches and playstyle suggestions, and how to deal with the PvP. And I'll cover add-ons at the end as well. Add-ons, again, don't work for the hardcore server, but they do out in the open world. So if you want to take this class and maybe spend some more time on it, we have a bit of a PvE section as well. So for movement is a bit different here. I guess first I'll cover the Q block. Your Q block in Awakening, you can take hands off, it's permanent. It gives you front guard and super armor. And it also gives you the 20 DP buff and the 26 AP buff in the kit. And it refreshes. You cannot move though, so anything you do will break it. You have one in your main hand kit as well. It doesn't give you the buffs, but the block is actually twice as strong. So you can take 2 times the damage if you Q block in pre-awakening than awakening before it breaks. And it allows you to move around a bit. So that's a Q block, and you're gonna use those a lot. It's great for just staying protected, waiting for cooldowns, seeing what's going on, breathe, and yeah, try and go for a grab. So let's cover the movement. And this time I'm gonna cover a bit of your protections. So you have your iframe, which is just dashing to the side or forward. It can go in all 4 directions. And it is iframe when it's off cooldown. It's very short though, so make sure you end it with a Q. You can also cancel pretty much any ability with Q if something happens and you need to get out. There are some that are animation lock, like Slashing of the Dead. But for a Gravedigger, for example, you can like reposition real quick if you see someone coming in for a grab, like a Circle. Then you might want to get out of the way. Right, so you have your movement, you have your Solar Flare, which is super armor with no CC. You have your Balance Strike, which is a stun, but it's unprotected unless you use the call. And you have Slashing of the Dead, Shift+RMB, which is one of the best damage abilities in the kit, and it's full super armor, has a bit of movement. So you can use this if you're in a pinch and you need to get a bit of distance. Another thing that's worth to know about movement is if you do charging, Reckless Blow, you can dash to the side and use it. For your pre-awakened movement, this is where a lot of the skill in the kit and the playstyle really comes in. So you have your WF, and this one here, you can get CC'd a lot out of. So I wouldn't use this straight into people. I'll use it to chase people, or I would use it to maybe move around people, buy time and cooldowns, right? Or run away if somebody's chasing you. Yeah, you can run away as well. Next up is Shift+q, which is Frenzied. It's very, very quick. And There's a great catch with this, which I'll cover a bit, but you want to use this, you can use this offensive, you can use it similar to WF as well. One of my absolute favorite abilities is W+rmb, because it actually has a stiffness on it. It's a short cooldown, forward guard movement, and you can get a stiffness in it, so it's great for catching. So this is one you really need to get comfortable with. Great from here as well, and you just go in for a CC, see if you get it. Next up is a really good ability, one you will learn to love. It's Chopping Kick, SF. It does 2 forward kicks, and it's full super armor. There's no CC on this anymore, but it is so good. Get comfortable with this. And also your Rabam, which I have over here, shield tied. It is great. It switches you over and goes super armor. The front guard, you're gonna get CC'd out of that very often, but it's a bit of movement for super armor. It gets you into pre-awakening. So you kind of want to get used to linking these together. Let's say I'm standing here in my Q block. I need to get over there, right? I'll do Rabam into this one here, maybe Chopping Kick. So linking all of these together are really good. Another great one to get you over is Shift+F. Super armor, but that's not movement, but it gets you into pre-awaken as well. Practice these, get comfortable with them, and then learning when to use them is the hard part. So let's look at a combo. Now I'm gonna keep this very simple. Most of your catches from Warrior are gonna come from a grab. Now whenever you grab E, it takes you into pre-awakened. So the first thing you need to do is get back into awakening, and you do that with just a dash, right? So we'll cover the setup and everything later. This here is the most simple, straightforward, good combo. Hopefully it's going to be enough to actually kill most targets on the hardcore server and equally geared, and it's very well protected. So the simple thing is, you hit a grab, we're going to dash to the side, we're going to armor break, full charge reckless blow, Gravedigger, slashing, 1-tick angle break, Pulverize, Tempest. The combo really works, and it's like this. E, dash to the side, spacebar, and then 1-tick angle break, Pulverize, Tempest. Alright, let's quickly cover some tips and tricks and some catches on Awakened Warrior. And of course there's the grab and Q block. Q block into grab, it's great. Trying to catch people that, it's good for people that aren't moving too much. But sometimes you want to close the gap very quick. This is one of my favorite catches. You play the neutral game. You are in pre-awakening, very important. And then from pre-awakening, it's really simple. You just go Shift+Q into grab. You will be surprised at how many people you will catch with this. Then you also have, of course, the iconic solo flare grab. Now, you do need to do a quick Q cancel at the end, otherwise you can get animation locked at the end of solo flare. But you go forward dash solo flare into QE. But yeah, let's just do it with the Q, right? And then you get the CC with this. Another one, which is another one of my favorites, is solo flare and then overwhelm behind people. So we don't have any block jumps or front guard bypassing abilities, but if people are using a front guard, you can solo flare to the side behind them, turn around and overwhelm them in the back with spacebar. So you have somebody here and you're gonna try and aim to the side, you'll dash solo flare, turn around and spacebar. Like that. And you can go to the side a bit, you don't have to go right all the way behind it. Practice the distance. Those are the main ones you really need to like play around with and practice for catching. My recommendation would be focus on like 2-3 of those and just practice. And what you then need to do, and this is where the tip part comes in, between doing that, you're playing this passive game. Do not be afraid of running away. Awakening Warrior really isn't a damage trading class. You can do damage trading, and to do that, you have your super armor abilities, which is Gravedigger, which with the core also have a KD, so you can get lucky catches with that. Slashing of the Dead as well, and Reckless Blow, which also has CC. So you can get some lucky catches with those, but outside of those abilities, not the greatest damage trader, and you're better off kiting around, using your movement for repositioning, waiting for openings, and then coming in and doing a combo with great damage. Don't be afraid to run away, wait for a grab cooldown, Q block to buy time, and try and do those catches constantly, and then flowing together with them, you do one into another, and that's how you're gonna see the greatest results. So for PvP add-ons, if you're doing, again, like some open world or outside of the hardcore server, you can use these. I don't have accuracy and evasion shred in these, so if you're doing something and you know you're fighting evasion targets, you definitely want to add that in there. You can replace ground smash, for example, with the solar flare and add accuracy and evasion shred on that for a quick, simple change. But these here works really good against just regular DR targets and the open world. Alright, so there it is. Hopefully you found this helpful, and hopefully you're gonna have a good time learning the class and getting into it. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment or drop by the stream at twitch.tv/bySebsonsPrime. I'll see you all in the next one.